Hi there, welcome to Crossfader, the online DJ school. My name's Jamie Hartley, and in this video I'm here to help you learn the fundamentals of your DJ controller. This is specifically for Rekordbox DJ users using mainly the DJing 400, but this is also applicable to the DJing 800 and DJing 1000. We're going to learn the difference between hot cues and memory cues. These are two important features within the Rekordbox DJ software and hardware, and I'm here to break down the difference between the two, when to use both, and also some tips surrounding both as well. Please remember, if you like this tutorial, to comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell icon to receive more videos like this. The latest Rekordbox DJ controllers all have two different types of cue options. The DJing 400, DJing 800 and DJing 1000 both have hot cues and memory cues. We're going to look at the differences between the two, when you would use hot cues over memory cues and vice versa, and then some tips to go alongside each different mode. First of all, let's look at the hot cues. Hot cues are accessed via this pad mode button here, and we have 8 pads that we can select hot cues in. To set up a hot cue, it's as simple as pressing a pad at any point. Whether the track's playing or paused, it will set up a hot cue as you press that pad. The hot cues react to something called quantize, which is this cue button here. I'm not going to get further into quantize, but if quantize is on, it will set the cue point on the grid. If quantize is off, you can set the cue off the grid. Having to put quantize on, especially as a beginner DJ, you want to make sure that your cue points are all set up on the grid. To delete a cue, hold shift and press that same pad. Hot cues can also be named. We can right click and add comments and write in something like intro. You can change the color and edit them how you please. You can use up to 8 hot cues. I could set up hot cues at different sections in the song to make it easier to jump to and from different parts. For example, I could have one on my intro, but I could also have one on the breakdown. This would allow me to jump nice and quickly into the main section of the song. Once you've set up hot cues, they will stay there, so next time you load this song, you can easily hit a hot cue and it will jump and play from that point. Hot cues are currently active when you open up Rekordbox for the first time, which means when you press that pad, even if it's paused, it jumps and plays that section of the song. Within Rekordbox preferences, if we click the gear icon, you can change how this reacts. Click the controller tab and then the deck tab within there, and if you scroll down to hot cue, there is this option here. During pause, gate playback is applied. If this is turned on, when you press a hot cue when the track is paused, you have to hold it for that track to play. When I let go, it won't continue to play, it jumps back to that point. This is the same as the normal cue button here. If you want the track to continue playing, just hit play and we can now release the hot cue. If the track is playing, it won't stop, it will act as a normal hot cue and keep playing. It just changes how they react when the track is paused. I'm going to turn this back off. It's worth knowing that this setting is there, but I would probably recommend when you're starting out to keep this setting turned off. It's also worth knowing that you can store loops in the hot cue bank as well. If we set up a loop, when a loop is active, just press an empty pad and it will indicate that the loop has been saved into that hot cue. Now, if we press that pad at any point, it will jump and activate that same loop. This is also very useful. Now let's look at the memory cue bank. Memory cues can be accessed in Rekordbox via this drop down here. It's at the bottom of the list. I like to think of memory cues as static cue points and hot cues as active cue points. Memory cues are points to set throughout the song that could be useful to work from. For example, we could set a cue point at the start of the song here. That's indicated by this orange triangle. Now to store this in the memory cue, we can hold shift and press the right arrow. Underneath it says memory, and this is a secondary feature accessed by shift. When I press this, it adds the time signature into the memory cue bank. Now let's set up another one to see how these work. Let's say, for example, I don't want to use this whole intro every time I load the song. I'd rather use it from halfway through. Let's set up a cue point there and then store it in the memory. We now have 2 memory points indicated by the time signature in the software. Using these 2 arrows, without holding shift, we can toggle backwards and forwards whenever the track is paused between the different memory points. They will save in chronological order, and this just means it's useful for next time I maybe load this song in. I only have to press 1 button and I'm ready to mix from halfway through the intro. This can improve the speed of my mixing, but remember you could always set up a hot cue at that position as well and use it in the same way. Loops can also be stored in the memory cue bank. Set up a loop first. Then if we hold shift and press memory, you'll notice that the loop has been stored in there. Maybe you like this section of the song. Again, next time we load it, you can just press this button twice. It jumps to that point and activates the loop. I could then use the hot cue to jump to the breakdown. One other neat feature with memory cues is the active loop option. Say for example, you want to mix another song in and you want this song to loop automatically without pressing anything, so it's one less thing to think about. We can do that. If I scroll to the drop and set up a loop, once the loop is active, store it in the memory. Now what we can do is turn this into an active loop. By holding shift and pressing the exit button, you'll see underneath it says active loop. We can toggle this in and out of an active loop. Now you'll notice on the screen the loop icon has turned red. This means that whenever it reaches this point from before, it will automatically activate that loop. And that's without having to press anything. Now if you don't want that to happen every time, you know that that's there and you can press shift and toggle the active loop off so that when it reaches that point, it won't activate. One last thing to note about the memory cue points is that you can change a setting in Rekordbox that then actually counts down to the next memory cue point. So when you're learning to DJ, this can be useful for setting up different points where you maybe want to mix in or mix out, and then Rekordbox counts down to that position. You'll notice at the moment, this numerical value here, 51.2 bars, is just counting through the track, and this is indicating how many bars we are into the song. Let's go before a memory cue. Now go into the Rekordbox settings, and then in View, we're going to scroll down to the beat count display here. It's on current position, which is the bars at the moment, but if we do count to the next memory cue in either bars or beats, it will count down to that point. So I've done it count to the next memory cue in bars, and you'll notice it says minus 12.1. And as we play this, it's counting down to that next red marker that we set. Skip a bit further. It's turned red, warning it's coming up. 1, and play. And that's just a neat little indicator for when you're learning. You can set up some cue points throughout the song. If you know that you always want to start your next mix, say at this position here, you can set up your memory cue, and then it will count down to that position. You've also got the visual on the screen of this white marker, which can sort of just remind you that that's where you want to press play on the next side. There we have the difference between memory cues and hot cues. I hope you can use these to your advantage on your DJ controller, especially if you're just starting out with the Rekordbox DJ software and a controller like this, the DJing 400. If you enjoyed this tutorial and want to learn some more, then please click the link for access to a free DJ lesson from one of our Rekordbox DJ courses, where you can learn some more interesting creative tricks with your controller and the Rekordbox DJ software. This will be taken directly from one of our online DJ courses that you can check out as well if you want to really master the art of DJing and your controller. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon.